What's up, guys? It's Cody here, and welcome back to the Driven Mad channel. Now, as you can tell from the title, in today's video, we are going to be talking about why the Camaro 1LE is one of the best sports cars you can buy for the money. So, and what kind of made me think about this is, currently in the current world events at the time of filming this, we're not really allowed to go really anywhere. So I was watching some YouTube videos on the 1LE Camaros, and it got me thinking, like, just how good of a performer this thing is. And, owning one, I've pushed it fairly hard and in a straight line as well as around some turns, and, it is definitely, it makes you think just how good this thing is. And now, as far as sports cars go, really the Camaro now is more of a sports car than it's ever been. It's more sports car than it is muscle car nowadays. It got me thinking, when you go to buy a sports car, what are some of the top things that you want when you're in the market for a sports car? You're wanting something that has good performance, has facts and figures to back up how good of a car is, 0 to 60 times, all that good stuff. But you also want a car that will actually allow you to do those numbers. How it's no good if the car says, yeah, you can do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, but every time you do it, you get 5.5. Or, you want a car that will complement you as a driver, as well as have those performance numbers to back you up. And speaking of performance, just to kind of give an idea of the type of performance this car has. So, a few years ago, Motor Trend, in their best driver's car, did a hot lap at Laguna Seca in a 17 1LE, and they got a 1:37.78 for their lap time. Now, to put that into some context, a Cayman S, a 718 Cayman S, which costs about $40,000 more than this car. This car stickers for about $46,000. A Cayman S is about $80,000 with the options you'd want. And that car did a 140, about 2.5 seconds slower around a track and that was with a PDK transmission and being, about 600 pounds lighter than this thing. It was 2.5 seconds slower than a mid-engine car with a dual clutch transmission, and that weighs 600 pounds less. Then let's compare that to a Aston Martin V12 Vantage S in that same competition. Was about 3 seconds slower around a track, and that car cost way more than one of these did. And then even if you compare it to the likes of like the Cayman GT4, one of my personal favorite cars, so it's lighter, and that car was about $100,000 and only managed to beat the 1LE by about 0.3 of a second around that track. So it beat it by 0.3 of a second, yet it weighs less, costs almost double the price or more. And you're like, man, that's a pretty good performer. As well as, I'm sure some of you guys have seen where Motor Trend did a head-to-head versus a regular SS versus the BMW M4, and the Camaro just crushed it. And that wasn't even the 1LE, that was just a regular SS. So what separates the 1LE from the regular SS? What takes this car to the next level? And so you get things like more engine cooling, better oil cooling, a transmission cooler, things like that. You get much larger brakes, 6-piston Brembo brakes up front, 4-piston in the rear. You get larger tires, 305s in the rear, 285s up front. The fantastic magnetic ride control, which just keeps this car so well controlled and gives it such good body control when you're really pushing it. That package all adds up to the confidence to push this car extremely hard. So what does that mean? That means that when you're going into a corner and you want to kind of push the car hard, like I'm about to, you can trust the car and you don't have to worry about anything. So I'm gonna hit this turn here, and I mean, it just hooks and it goes, and there's no wondering if the car will be able to do it. It just does it. And And that's a good feeling because it makes you push the car harder. You can drive it harder, brake later, things like that. As well as being a great handling car, you know, you do get some good straight line performance, which is important in a sports car. And you get that glorious V8 soundtrack to back you up. While this thing does have great straight line speed, you know, I mean, you're talking about a car that'll do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, which modern day, you know, we're used to cars that'll do 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds and have 8 million horsepower. But, you know, for a front engine manual rear drive car, 455 horsepower in this short wheelbase is a fantastic combination, and it gives you good straight line punch, especially with the torque all the way in the entire rev band. So, but what the 1LE package does is elevates it to a whole new level, to where you can come into a turn super hot, lean on the brakes, and have confidence that those brakes are actually going to slow you down. And the car is planted. That suspension that they put in the 1LE just keeps the car so controlled and compliant, even over bumps and undulations. It gives you so much more confidence to push the car. And you know, that's when we have fun in cars like this, is when we get to push them and when we get to really test them. So if you feel like you're hurting the car, or if you feel like you're never in control of the car, it's not going to be a whole lot of fun, so you're not going to do it that often, and then that defeats the purpose of owning a sports car in the first place. So performance wise, I mean, for the money, this car is so hard to beat. Now, I'm sure some of you were thinking, you know, like, oh, well, what about a Shelby GT350? And I will agree that if I could afford one of those when I bought this, I probably would have. They're basically double the price of this car anyways. So really, in that $46,000 mark, it's really hard to beat this car for the performance numbers. Now, let's talk about something else that makes a car a good sports car. You know, it's a sports car. It's not a supercar. It's not a hypercar. You should be able to use the car more than just on a nice day, you know, on a Sunday or something like that. You should be able to enjoy the car and use it whenever you want. And what's nice about the 1LE is that you just put it in tour mode, just like I did just now, and it makes the exhaust quieter, the suspension softer, steering gets lightened up, the throttle response is a bit more relaxed, so it's not as sharp and aggressive, and the car just becomes a lot more relaxed, to where if this is your only car, you can easily daily drive this thing and, you know, go on a highway trip and easily get 27 miles to the gallon, which I've done before. And it's quiet, the seats are comfortable, and it doesn't beat you up. You're not taking a full-on race car to work every day, in a sense. So it's really a fantastic car to use every day. I personally don't have to, so I don't, but you definitely could if this is your only car. And that's another thing that makes it a great sports car. And then you take it out of tour mode, put it into sport mode, get on it a little bit, and it becomes a totally different car. So yeah, you really look at the numbers. I mean, it's an incredibly hard car to beat. I'm not just saying that because I currently own one. I was just genuinely surprised when I drove it, which is why I bought it, of how good it actually was. I mean, it really is fantastic. Anyways, guys, just a quick little video here, and I thought I wanted to share like some of my thoughts as to why this car is a bargain for its price, whether it's new or used. I'm mostly talking about even the new price though. But yeah, so anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more content. And if you do subscribe, make sure you click that bell notification so you get notified when more videos videos come up. And yeah, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.